Hey, what's up guys and welcome to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 11 of What If Naruto Was Too Advanced for His Age. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also, go ahead and check out a brand new episode of What If Naruto Had Cosmic Energy over an Anime King 3. And enjoy that guys. And over on Anime King, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Became the God of Lightning. So go ahead and check out that and enjoy. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, as Naruto and his group made their way out, they were protecting the daughter of the daimyo as she went to collect some herbs, as she was a medic here, a good one. So with that they made their way, but they were attacked, as Tenten had quickly took the daimyo's daughter and carried her off, but not before she saw some of the ninjas, as she is quite attuned to most of their headbands, as they were from Kumo. As they were sent here to kidnap her for the other daimyo, Uncle knew that something like this would happen, as they had to take on the group before tying them up as they were able to subdue all of them. The ninjas were quite shocked because all of them were at least low Jonin level, and yet these kids. And this one Jonin was able to subdue all of them. Uncle and the others left them out in the forest as they told them that some rather nasty wild animals came out here, as he better watch himself, and with that they headed off. As the group struggled to get free, they made their way back, as she had accidentally told her father about what happened and how she was protected. The man had put two and two together, as he was quite angry at Uncle for not telling him, as Uncle was trying her best not to start a war. That is the reason why she did not tell him, but the man insisted that he wanted to know everything when it comes towards the other daimyo, as Uncle nodded she understood. So with that, they made their way as they separated, as Naruto and Uncle went to help some miners who had been missing for some time now. Arriving there, Naruto felt weird because he had this dream last night about this strange animal coming after him, and he woke up. As the miners said that something was in here, Naruto didn't know why, but he ran out after the thing as he came to a stop to see that it was a wolf. It knocked Uncle out as he slammed into the wall. The wolf looked at Naruto before studying him as he went into his mindscape, as Naruto was confused where he was, as a wolf saw when he was first born. Naruto was surprised. The wolf saw something within him and decided to meet Naruto, a wolf summoner, which he couldn't believe, as he thanked him, as the wolf told him that he could call them to aid him when needed. Back at Konoha, as Kushina was at the hospital mostly now, seeing that she was in her 8th month of her pregnancy, Yuji was there as well to keep her company when she wasn't on missions, as they found the same topic interest in her son, as she could see that Yuji really cared about her son, and Naruto really cared about her as well, as she approved of this relationship. It was wonderful for the both of them to find each other, as she wished them happiness. So with that, Naruto and his group continued their work for daimyo, as they were supposed to secure a shed. Uncle didn't know why, but she had a rather bad feeling, and her bad feelings weren't usually wrong, as she told them all to be on high alert. Yes, she felt like something really bad was going to happen tonight. So yeah guys, so basically as we left off, you guys can switch across to the place after yourself. So this will be a couple of clones to watch the place while his team train, as Uncle focused on physical skills, hoping to increase their stamina and their strength during fights. So she started with a couple of muscle building exercises and long endurance ones as well. She then moved on to sparring 2 against 1. This way, they will learn how to fight in disadvantage and learn how to explore his or her resources against the others. Eventually, Tenten caved in as Uncle spent the rest of the moment as she let her rest, sparring with Neji, who in turn was as good as Naruto with ninjutsu, well almost, and that was saying a lot. Your form improved a lot, Neji. I can see that your father's scroll was beneficial in that area. As she dodged a Jayugin strike, suddenly he caught her off guard by summoning 2 clones. She had to use a substitution technique to get away. Huh, good move there. Copying Naruto's sneaky style of fighting. I really have to say, I didn't see that coming at all, she said. Yes, said Neji, we tend to trade techniques once in a while. He taught me the Shadow Clone Jutsu, as Naruto completed, while he taught me the rotation. As Anko paused, as she looked towards Naruto, I would like to see you do the rotation. Sharing jutsus at the cage bunching is one thing, but sharing clan techniques is another, Neji. I don't think that your father would be happy with this knowledge. Oh, my father already approves, said Neji, but under one condition, that Naruto added. Win ninjutsu with the rotation so it does not look suspicious. I also changed the name of the technique, said Naruto, so it wouldn't look too suspicious. It's called Wind Style. Hurricane Spin Jutsu, he said. Anko nodded as she sent the 2 boys to spar while she watched over the warehouse. As everything was going rather well, but when 2 rivals started the fight, they tend to take things out of the normal realm and go a bit harder than usual. After all, they were always trying to see which one of them is the better, as Neji first started it. Earth Style. Revolving splitting earth palm, he said. As all the rocks were thrown towards Naruto, Naruto pulled out his strange knife and started to spin as he activated his tornado cutter technique as he tore the rock to shreds. After he was finished, he went through hand sign. Wind release. Gale wind palm jutsu, he said, as he sent Neji flying. Neji crashed right down in front of Anko as she looked down at him. Ah, Neji, nice for you to arrive. My time is now up, and it's now here, she said, as Anko walked away, leaving Neji to complain about stupid blonde that always win in ninjutsu. That went on with the rotation as they were watching the warehouse switching every time. Until the day finally arrived as Neji had improved his Byakugan vision as he was able to see a group of bandits coming with all sorts of weapons. The group wasn't worried because little did they know, the path that they were taking was filled with so many traps and they would be walking straight towards their doom. Anko instructed them to behave like nothing happened in order to lure the bandits to the traps. As the bandits made their way, as they fall inside the era ranged genjutsu, as it affected their vision, they stumble around as they fall inside the holes, where they were pelted with shurikens and kunais. In a little space of a minute, all that could be heard was kunais whistling through the air, and the bandits screaming for their life. As Anko found it rather amusing, well, what could she say? She was rather sadistic. But when the sound died down, it looked like the bandits were just a distraction because 4 people were approaching. There were 2 ways for anyone to survive the trap, and it was luck or ninja training. And they knew that it was a training, so they were going to have to fight. Well. As it was Kumo ninjas once again. Seems you guys did us a favor by reducing these bandits' loads. So we'll only have to worry about you, one of them said, as he seemed to be the leader. As Anko quickly figured out what happened, all of them did. They mixed with the bandits, so when the time came, they could destroy the warehouse and cripple the Bird Country army greatly. Naruto, Neji, get in the front. You 2 will be our shield for the first attacks. First of all, Neji, do your thing, Anko said. Neji activated his Byakugan. All 4 of them are Chunin level ninjas with lightning, elemental chakra. Only one of them has wind, and that one is over on the right. Their chakra capacity, even though it's a bit high, it is not above Tenten's level. Anko smiled at that. Great, Tenten. You take on the wind user, since you have an elemental advantage. Remember, if you're in danger, call for help. Now, Naruto, would you do the honors? He nodded as he went through a fast set of hand signs. Wind release. Fierce hurricane jutsu. The enemy eyes widened as they tried to leap away. But the wind blast was so wide range and powerful, it slammed them out of the air. All of them were blown towards a separate direction. Alright, each of you choose one of them and eliminate them as Anko rushed off. As Neji arrived to his enemy first, and the man slowly picked himself up. He focused on Neji's eyes as he saw them. A smirk came on his face as he wondered how he would be rewarded back in Kumo if he was to bring back the Byakugan. You'll die here, Hyuga. Then I'll take your eyes and return them back to Kumo, the man said, as he dropped into his fighting stance. However, Neji simply smirked as he replied, I've got just one thing to say. You're in my field of divination. Before the man could reply, Neji shot forward as he had up his strikes. 128 Neji blast him with before the man was sent sailing from the final attack. When Tintin arrived, her opponent was already standing and didn't waste any efforts as he charged towards Tintin rather quickly. As Tintin summoned out a sword as she blocked the weapon. She twists and sliced deep in his tuning vest as he leaped away. You shouldn't rush in like that, you know. You will end up dead in 10 seconds. Tintin stabbed her blade in the ground as she went through hand sign. Fire style. Fire dragon jutsu, she said. As a massive fire dragon she spewed out of her mouth that roared and rushed towards the man with tremendous speed. The man charged Chakra to his feet and leaped out of the way. But he was not completely fast enough as his arm got burned. He cried out in pain as he flipped. You bitch! You're gonna pay for that, he said. As he rushed towards Tintin rather quickly, his feet enhanced by Chakra. As Tintin stood there, as the man appeared in front of her, Tintin ducked as she stepped on the sword on the ground, flipping it up. It pierced right through his stomach. As he couldn't stop himself fast enough, he cursed. As Tintin ended, little to say, he was dead before he fell on the ground. As Tintin turned to see Neji walking calmly towards her. Meanwhile, Anko and her foe. The man was a poison expert. Her sneaks weren't well an option right here with the poisons. She thought that he was a long-range fighter, but when she attacked him in close range, he slugged her right in the face after breaking through her guard. He was also a close-range fighter as well. As she jumped back, she reached up and touched her face as she was bleeding. Anko wasted no time. She sped through hand signs, earth release, earth, dragon, mud projectile, she said. But the man went through hand sign and created a lightning barrier that surprised Anko quite a lot. This guy was a Chunin level ninja, but he produced lightning such an opponent level. Something was wrong as Anko resorted to genjutsu as she placed him under a genjutsu. But the man broke out of it in seconds and landed a brutal punch into her stomach. All the air was knocked out of her lungs as she slammed into a tree. She propped herself up. You can't possibly be a Chunin. Who are you? The man smiled from ear to ear. Sorry, but no. I'm not a Chunin, he said. But seeing your face and I counter everything that you threw at me, it was quite marvelous, he said. Allow me to present myself to you, Uncle-san. My name is Tenru Koshiki. Or, in case you read the bingo book, I'm known as a Thunder Assassin, the man said. Uncle eyes widened in fear when she realized who the hell this was. According to the bingo book, this man was, well, responsible for a majority of the assassination mission in Kumo. He got the nickname Thunder Assassin from the Raikage because he only took a couple of seconds to kill the man or woman that he was targeted to. And he was an elite Jonin, one of the top elites. You know, you should be honored, the assassin said. After all, you will be my 100th victim. Prepare to die, he said, as he shot forward and attacked Uncle brutally. His attacks broke through her guard as she moved back. The man moved off with that speed that caught her completely off guard as he created that sword from pure lightning. I won't let you. Lightning release. Lightning force jutsu. A beam of lightning slammed into him, given the fact that he was in mid-air and he couldn't maneuver his body quick enough. It slammed him out of the air as he crashed through a tree. The man keeled over as he started to cough. His entire body was pulsating as he looked up at his attacker. As he looked at the man's face, he was a splitting image of one of the village's worst enemy, the fourth Hokage. Also, he used a Kumo Kinjutsu a moment ago. Meanwhile, Naruto's eyes were showing nothing but rage to see this guy almost kill Uncle. He wasn't about to lose any one of his precious persons anytime soon. As one of Uncle's snake came over, the man was still pulsating on the ground. The snake bit into his leg as he cursed, but his body still was not functioning properly as lightning was just coursing through him. As he knew how powerful that technique was and he couldn't believe he got caught by a damn kid nonetheless. His vision started to blur as Naruto stepped forward. Naruto stopped. He's finished by now, Uncle said. Thank you for saving my life, she said, as she released a breath. He's an A-rank shinobi, Naruto. If Kumo learned that he died by your attack, Kumo will barge into our doors, demanding answers. I inserted a dead poison. He will be dead in a short amount of time. Don't worry, she said. Now, how was your fight? As Uncle saw something at the corner of her vision, something leaped as it landed as she turned. But it was two small wolves. Uncle Sensei, allow me to introduce the drilling brothers, said Naruto. They were the ones that deal my opponent. The both of them spoke at the same time. The man wasn't a challenge. One of us could have dealt with him, they said. Thanks a lot, you guys. As the wolves nodded, as they dispelled themselves, Uncle for her part sealed away the body of the man, as she wrote a letter to Minato at Konoha. Time skip. Minato was currently in his office. As he was finishing his paperwork today, he was about to go and visit his wife when a snake suddenly arrived and delivered a scroll. Minato opened the scroll as he started to read. Hokage-sama, during one of our missions for Bird Country Daimyo, we end up facing off against the Thunder Assassin from Kumo. He was rather tough and in the end, I wasn't able to kill him. He was about to kill me, but Naruto saved my life with a lightning attack, frying the man in our organs. I also injected poison inside his veins, so that Kumo can't see that your elite Jonins were killed by one of their own Kinjutsu. Anyway, the body is inside this scroll, Hokage-sama, for you to decide what to do with him. Minato was surprised to see his son killing an A-rank shinobi. He called Kakashi. As the man arrived, what can I do for you, Minato-sensei? Take this corpse analysis and tell them to write me a report on the cause of death. Treat this with secrecy. If word gets out, we'll have another bloody incident to handle. As Kakashi took the scroll and headed off, Minato wouldn't let anything stop him right now, even if a Bichu came to attack Konoha. He was going to visit his wife. Well, there was still a lot in his mind right now, with the sand acting all shady. Yes, they were doing some things in secrecy, as Naruto was also worried about their alliance. But why would they want to start something now? And not to mention, the snake, the traitorous snake, has said to found a hidden village. Sarutobi think that it won't take long for a war to start or something. He gave it 2 years for something to break out. The Hidden Stone and Kumo are neutral to all of this, but that don't really mean anything. Things can change like a snap of a finger. Minato was just hoping that everything stayed peaceful. Well, everything was not 100% peaceful, but the way it was now, as he really hoped they didn't start something, they surely knew that they could not finish. Time skip. With Naruto and his team, after they returned to the castle and explained everything that happened, without using ninja terms, they waited to see how the man would react. Certainly, Fan Country must have hired ninjas from Kumo to aid him against my country. However, since you were able to stop them from damaging the warehouse, I guess no harm fell on this country. Now the bastard must have realized that his veins are for weeks. I just received a letter saying that he wants to talk for negotiation so we can end this conflict. I don't need to tell you all that he will try to kill me once I cross the border. If this is not just some hoax. But if it is not, and since he made the letter to me, it will look like complete disrespect if I do not show. You four are my last survival choice once I cross the border. So your mission will be to escort me to Fan Country as my bodyguards and protect me from harm. Uncle nodded. We would gladly protect you, Daimyo-sama, she said. However, I'm sure once we leave, he will try to kidnap your daughter to use her as leverage. The daimyo nodded as he asked about a procedure on what to do. We have a team nearby, ready to escort her to Konoha right away. I am very ashamed to say I didn't think about my daughter's situation in all of this. I really appreciate your concern, Uncle-san, and send the Hokage my thanks. As Uncle sent for the backup team, Mike Guy, Genma, Kurnai, and Asuma. As Asuma was the leader of the operation, these ninjas were quite powerful. After all, if a war were to break out, they were needed. After all, the daimyo had hired Team 5 for the work. And if a war should break out, despite them being quite strong, the numbers were just not on their side. That is why he sent a powerful group like this. Asuma was the leader of the operation. As he approached Uncle, Asuma, my team will be escorting the daimyo to Fan Country to protect him. However, he's concerned about his daughter's welfare. Hence why we need to get her to Konoha for her own protection. Be aware that Kumo ninjas are on the loose, and may try to abduct his daughter, said Uncle. Asuma nodded as the group returned to Konoha with Shio, as Uncle's group went with the daimyo. Once they were outside the castle, they went into their formation as they made their way with the daimyo. It will take a day for them to reach there, so the daimyo explained how Bird and Fan Country get into this mess, because the man said that they were rather peaceful to each other, but one day, Bird Country caravans got attacked by samurais from Fan Country. The reason was for them to take over a certain route, so they could link Fan Country to other major routes and export and enlarge their country. Eventually, two of them tried to reach a negotiations, but neither of the respected daimyo wanted anything to do with each other. So a cold war was started between them. He explained if this fails, both of them will have to engage in a war, and which one of them won would control the entire route. The man really did not know if the man was just trying to lure him into a trap or really sign a treaty between them to end this squabble. But the daimyo really did not know, because he was a sick, twisted fool. The man was obsessed with money and power. That was the only thing he cared about. While him, as Uncle and group had saw that the man cared about his daughter and his village and his people, he wanted to make sure that they were safe. So they will have to protect him well. After all, if he was taken out, the other would get most of the advantage reaping from the man's death. So they all kept a keen eye open. Neji, his Byakugan activated every once in a while, scouting the area, as they took the other route around, so they could make their way without taking a straight route. And he knew that the man wouldn't be stupid enough to try and fight inside. After all, that was nothing about him. He wanted this place to be kept in pristine condition, and if a battle started there, it would be quite chaotic. As they made their way until they arrived at a huge mountain, as they could see the daimyo's castle, even though it was the last floor. The daimyo that was with Uncle's group was a samurai at heart. Normally, he would want to climb alone, but Naruto explained the situation. As he had to carry him, it had to be fast. Neji uses Byakugan to scout the place and see if any Kumo ninja or how much people are guarding the place. Uncle Sensei, it seems like he's prepared. Outside, there's a couple of samurai guards, but on the inside, right behind the door, are two Kumo ninjas. Looks like they're taking shift. Also, there are several chakra presents scattered all over the castle, said Neji. Uncle nodded. Can you find a place where we can enter undetected by the Kumo ninja? He asked. Neji enhanced his vision. Luckily, he found that the ceiling was the best place to start. The ceiling was guarded but only by one ninja, and that was it, as the rest of the others were guarded by a lot of them. That was a big chance for one of them to escape or run away, to inform the others if the man really wanted to start something. Okay team, we cannot enter the castle together since the daimyo is with us. Therefore, Tenten and I will stay to guard him in case we run into trouble. Naruto, you and Neji go to the ceiling and subdue the enemy, quickly. Once done, enter in the castle and take out as many enemies as you can without alerting the others. The Fang daimyo is located at the farthest room in the back of the castle, so he will not be alerted by anyone the daimyo told them. Uncle then reached in her pouch. I happen to carry some of these if we need them, as it was intercoms. It's a secure line, so they will not hear anything. Once you're done, come back here and we will enter casually through the front door, said Uncle. Both Naruto and Neji nodded as they vanished out of sight. As the both of them made their way, as they scaled the castle wall rather quickly, as Naruto uses lightning release, lightning strikes, to take out the enemy rather fast. Both him and Naruto went into the vents because that was the only way. As the both of them had opened the top and slipped down, they contact Uncle. Entry success. As they hid behind the doors. As the two Kumo ninjas start to pass, as Neji waited until they passed fully to take them out to his Ryugen. Once that was over, Neji tapped his hand in the back of their neck, taking them down, as Naruto tied them up, placing chakra suppressor shields on them. Okay Naruto, in this floor, there are only two more shinobis down the corridor on your left. At the moment they are playing cards. It shouldn't be too hard to subdue them, said Neji, as Naruto nodded. As the two men were there playing cards and laughing, as Naruto sneaked up on both of them and used his lightning release, shock paralysis jutsu, as he grabbed onto the both of them and took them out. Quickly holding on to their mouth, keep them silent as their muffled cries could be heard, as they then dragged away their bodies and tied them up. Uncle Sensei, last floor cleared of all enemies, proceeding to the other floors to clear them of all enemies, Naruto said through the intercom. They went down, but they did not kill the samurais, they just knocked them out, as he took out the rest of the Kumo ninjas and made their way. The daimyo was listening to everything that was going on as he was rather impressed, as he was thinking that he would hire Konoha ninjas for any problem in the future. Their voice then popped up once again. Uncle Sensei, we have taken care of them. But there are 3 Jonin level ninja in front of the daimyo's office. What should we do? Open the door, Uncle said. As the both of them went to open the door, as Uncle released her snakes. Meanwhile at Konoha, as Minato was doing some paperwork, when the Jonins that he sent entered his office, along with a woman, the situation was quickly explained to him, as he hoped Uncle knew what she was doing, because it would be rather dangerous if they walked right into a trap that was deadly. Meanwhile, Uncle was able to take out the ninjas with a genjutsu. Yes, they saw large snakes wrapping around their body, squeezing them so tight they were about to burst, while outside Naruto and Ninja took care of their real body. As they walked inside rather casually, no guards to stop them. The castle was now empty of the guards. The only person remaining was a daimyo. Inside the Fang daimyo's office, he was a big, bald man, as he had a patch over his right eye. He was smirking as he was signing some documents and things went toward in the plan. He will have the bird daimyo's head on a silver platter. The door entered, but he paused when he saw the daimyo smirking, not to mention 3 Konoha ninjas, as the team leader then came in behind them, as he wondered if they subdue all of his men, as no one is coming in. Did they really take out everyone? He cursed in his mind. Daimyo Dono, I'm here regarding your letter that you sent to me, said the bird daimyo. The Fang daimyo snarled, but he put on a fake smile. Yes, have a seat, why don't you, he said, as he had to make negotiations now. His plan had completely failed. Worthless Kumo ninjas. Time skip 2 days later. After everything was cleared up, the group started to make their way back to Konoha as an agreement was set out. He ended up selling a few routes to Fang country, but they weren't all that beneficial to him. So with that, the man could make his extra money and be all greedy as he wanted. As they arrived at the large gates, Naruto had a big smile on his face. They were going to need a special week of vacation off after doing so much back-to-back mission. And he was going to have some ramen. Not just 1 or 2, like a whole month worth of ramen for not being here for so long. And also, he get to see Yujiro-chan as well. On the other hand, Uncle really missed Aruka, as she was already picturing the amount of things they would be doing inside the bedroom. And also Dango, her lips started to water. Neji and Tenten were just happy to come home to their families, and nothing more. And with that, the group made their way inside the village. The group had to undergo a report to the Hokage even though they wanted just to go and rest. But they had to do this, so they all made their way towards the tower. That being said, as they arrived, as they started to explain the majority of the missions and the letters of the clients, all thanking them for their services, Minato saw that 2 months of missions, almost, was taxing on them, but rules are rules after all. But it was rather difficult giving in all of these reports after all the missions they've done. But nevertheless, he was proud of the team, as he was surprised about the wolf contract. As he was quite surprised about that. But that was a very good thing for Naruto, as it was the first time Minato saw Naruto being tired. As Naruto scowled, well, he was doing missions for 2 months. Ease, Naruto, I was just playing, said Minato. Well, I'm pleased to tell all 4 of you that your clients were all pleased with their services, and they will surely contract Konoha for their next future endeavor. All of your money will be transferred to your account, and you are all granted 1.5 weeks of vacation, said Minato with a smile, as he dismissed them. As Naruto stayed behind as Minato got up. As Naruto hugged his father, Dad, I missed you so much, he said. How's Mom? Is the baby alright? How's Yujiro-chan doing? Minato informed that everything was okay, and that the baby will be born shortly. Naruto was glad that he didn't miss anything, as he had promised his mother after all. As Naruto explained in detail about how he got the wolf contract, as Minato was happy to find out that Naruto's moon obsession was linked to a, well, wolf, great legend. He was gonna teach Naruto about the toad contract, since Naruto already acquired the amount of chakra to do it. But seeing that he now have the wolf contract, it seems that the generation will have to skip for the younger one to sign it. But say it will have to be at least 2 or 3 years older than Naruto to have the chakra capacity to sign it. Naruto, go visit your mother in the hospital. She's worried like hell. Oh yeah, said Naruto, as he waved to his father and rushed off. As Minato smiled, seeing his son rush off, he looked at the reports once more, before remembering something important about the Jonin from Kumo. Yesterday, he received a letter from the Raikage expressing its sincerity, and the body was returned. The Raikage also expressed that the killing occur within the limits of the mission. They were hired to do so. So it wouldn't be necessary to involve more bloodshed in this. Minato was happy to say the least, as he expected the man to use this as leverage and ask for something in return. Meanwhile, as Naruto was making his way towards his mother's room after asking, he had flowers in his hand, as he wondered if Yu-Gi-Oh team was sent on a mission, as he and his father never talked about it. He wondered if he could be a visit to her house and see if she was there. He was not a stranger to the Uzuki family, as she had invited him over before. As he knocked on the door after arriving, as he heard his mother said come in. But when he opened it, he was surprised to see Yu-Gi-Oh there as well. As Naruto stepped inside, "Naruto-kun, you're home!" Despite being pregnant, Kushina got up, even though it was rather slowly, as she literally picked him up and hugged him tight. "Mom, can't breathe," said Naruto, as she released him, with a big smile on her face, as he gave one of the bouquets he brought for her, and asked her how was everything and how was the baby doing, as she told him that Miseo was a wild kicker, but everything was fine. As Naruto went towards his girlfriend and handed her the bouquet, as he told him how much he missed the both of them, Yu-Gi-Oh appreciated the flowers and told Naruto she was here with his mother, and she learned a lot of interesting stuff. As Naruto paused, Kushina simply giggled. "It's my job to embarrass you, Naruto-kun," she said. As Naruto turned back towards Yu-Gi-Oh, as she had a smile on her face, a smile that was too sweet, as he told him about his new jutsus and his missions. As Kushina could tell that Naruto wanted to catch up with his girlfriend, and she also missed him as well. She told him to go and enjoy their day, as she will be fine. As after asking several times over, she told him that she will be fine. As she insisted, she literally had to push him out of the room, as the both of them made their way towards rooftops. As he found a place to sit down and chat about everything that has been happening, as Yu-Gi-Oh was shocked to how much happened in 2 months, not to mention he got the wolf summoning contract, as she didn't progress that much in 2 months. But he told her he was miles behind her, but she knew that he couldn't be comparing himself to her right now. She had a lot more training than him, and she was also older, not to mention at his age, she was nowhere near his level, as it made him kiss her on the cheek as he took a bold step, as it made her kiss him back near his lip, until they started to kiss each other. The experience was new for the both of them, even though they've done it already, but it was still new, the kissing. As it was wonderful though, as they started to enjoy the kiss. They both knew their relationship would evolve at the right time, so they weren't worried about speeding anything up. She had to go to the Envoy headquarters to fill some reports, as she said her goodbyes, so they could meet up tomorrow, or tomorrow night for dinner or lunch. As Naruto made his way, as he talked to Asuma about the twin knife style of fighting, as Asuma was rather shocked to say at least that Naruto has found out some, well, more moves and how to add on to the fighting style. He was rather impressed. As Naruto came there, he saw him hanging out with Kurenai. He shrugged it off to think that they were friends, or maybe they were more than that, but they didn't seem that way, well, unless they were hiding it. After that, Naruto went home. His mother was close to having Miseo, so she was at the hospital 24/7 now, even sleeping there, as that was her own personal room. As Naruto went to take a long hot shower, his father was also busy with work, so he wouldn't be back until a couple of hours. As Naruto made his way, after taking a shower towards his bed seemed so comfy right now. He shook his head. He must be hearing things because he could swear that his bed was calling him. As he started to fall, he passed out before even hitting the bed as he fell asleep. 3 hours later, Minato was leaving the office. He was so happy that Naruto had returned home safe because of Kushina. Staying in the hospital, when he was home, he was alone and he missed his family more and more. Not having a family when he was little, just to go home to an empty house, yes, it was rather painful. So it brought up back scars to not see Naruto or Kushina there, but he knew they were out somewhere else, but it was just strange. Minato flashed towards his house as he heard the place was silent, really silent. As he wondered if Naruto was, he made his way to his room and saw Naruto hanging off the bed as drool was coming from his mouth. It made him smile. He made his way over and put Naruto on the bed more as he covered him with the sheets. He placed on a scroll next to his bed. Something that will help Naruto overcome the cannonball part of the lightning jutsu. The both of them can work on it tomorrow. Time skip. The next day, both father and son was in the training field in the back of the yard. Naruto was quite surprised when he had woken up and saw the scroll, and his father hadn't left yet, as the both of them would be working on it. Naruto has already figured out how to create the thunder ball. That was the easy part. Now was the final phase of the technique. He will have to fire it like a cannonball. Yes, by focusing a large amount of lightning release chakra. As he was adding chakra, the lightning started to become unstable. As he dispelled the technique, this had been the... Damn, he lost count. As Minato saw what was going on, as he made his way towards the sun, Naruto thought that by the ball losing control, he was doing the wrong thing. But that was intended to happen. He just needed to focus lightning chakra more on the back part to fire it off. After telling him what happened, Naruto nodded, but he was still a bit afraid for the thing to blow up in his face. But if his father was certain about it, he would trust him. As he created the ball and did exactly what his father said, as he pumped more lightning chakras, it became rather unstable. Now, said Minato. Lightning release. Thunderball cannon jutsu, said Naruto. The thing shot forward. Naruto dropped to his knees as he watched, with a big smile on his face as the thing obliterated several trees and created a big trench in the earth with black marks from the thunder shock. After 3 years, he finally managed to complete the technique. As he got to his feet and started to jump around in celebration, his father came over as he congratulated Naruto on his conquest. Clapping could be heard as Minato did not turn as he knew that he was there. As Kakashi walked out, he happened to arrive just moments before Naruto released the lightning ball, as he knew that Naruto was working on his technique for the past 3 years. Congratulations, Naruto. I came just in time to see it. Naruto was overjoyed as he rushed forward and hugged Kakashi, as Kakashi smiled and patted the boy on his back, as he kept on bouncing around with pure joy. As he had to calm himself, he was acting too much like a kid. Well, he was just so overjoyed. Kakashi called Minato aside as Naruto was left alone with his own devices. Sensei, the third came to me and expressed some concern over his former student actions. Minato already knew that he was talking about Orochimaru. What has he done? Asked Minato. The third believed that this rise of the New Stone Village has something to do with Orochimaru, and certainly involved the Rice Country Daimyo. The third believed that Orochimaru persuaded the man to form this new hidden village, seeing that it just sprang up out of the blue. Minato went into a thinking mode. Truth be told, Orochimaru was the worst enemy to Konoha because of the simple fact of his skills and also his knowledge of Konoha doings. Kakashi, assemble a meeting with Sarutobi. I want to talk to him about a long-term espionage mission towards his own actions. As Kakashi nodded and left, Minato then turned to see his son lying on the ground. As he didn't look happy at all, did he overheard this conversation? As Minato sat down beside his son. Dad, how strong is Orochimaru? And why hasn't someone dealt with him yet because of his actions, said Naruto. As he was remembering what Uncle told about the snake. As he really hated that man for what he did to his sensei. Minato looked towards his son fully. Naruto, what I'm about to tell you now is not because I'm your father, but I'm going to tell you as a Hokage. And seeing that you're tuning rank, you deserve to know who is Orochimaru. As Naruto nodded, as he could see that his father was serious. Orochimaru, as you knew from the history books, he was a part of the group known as the Sannin. After their fierce battle against Hanzo, the Salamander, they were given the title, him, Tsunade, the granddaughter of the first Hokage, and your godfather Orochimaru. After some time, Orochimaru was rumored to create some dangerous experiments with human beings to try and overcome the natural limitation that the human body has. The problem was, Orochimaru was a lunatic. He would do anything if it meant achieving his dreams, even cruel, twisted experiments. But Sarutobi wanted to believe his student over some rumors, until day when he found Orochimaru in the act. The problem though, it seems like Sarutobi could not stop him, or he let him go for some reason. He didn't tell. But he's on the loose once again, starting dangerous chaos. I will tell you. I know that Uncle told you something about him, but he's dangerous. His skills can top your godfather in battle, and even me without a High-Shin, said Minato. As Naruto asked his father why didn't they send someone after him those long time ago when he first escaped, Sir Toby always have a soft spot for Orochimaru, as he think of him like a son, given the fact that he was an orphan. That is the main reason. Son, I know you're worried about the village welfare, but pretty soon we will deal with Orochimaru. Promise me though, you won't worry about him, and should you encounter him, you will not try to attack him at all. As Naruto nodded, Minato knew how twisted Orochimaru was. To gain what he wanted, he might even try to kidnap Naruto to use against him. Yes, or to just make him suffer in some way. So, that is why he gave Naruto this warning. Naruto might be strong, but Orochimaru had the experience, and he also had the skills. The man is a Sanin, and Naruto wasn't ready for anything like that yet. Well, Naruto, I'll be heading to the office. I believe Kakashi already talked to the third, so he should be expecting me very soon. As he started to head off, oh, Naruto, I heard that Yujiro was sent on a mission, and she won't come back until a while. See you later, he said as he made his way. As Naruto's face became dejected upon hearing this news, he thought that he would have some time to spend with her. He leaves for 2 whole months, and now when he finally came back to see her, she is the one that was sent on a long-term mission, and now he won't be able to be with her. Having nothing else to do for the remaining week, Naruto went to the library, as he's been thinking about water manipulation recently. So, he made his way. Time skip. At the Hokage's office, Hiruzen was inside, as Minato made his way. Ah, Minato-kun, I'm sure you're here to discuss the recent developments inside the Hidden Zone. Minato nodded as he went to sit on his chair. Kakashi told me about your suspicions on Orochimaru's actions, so I was thinking about keeping him on close watch. He was able to easily lure the rice field daimyo into his cause, and you know how convincing he is, alluring some other ninjas to attack us. That's true. He's very manipulative. And, you know, if he's coming back to Konoha, there's only one reason why he will be coming back. Minato nodded. He knew the reason. Indeed he did. I would place someone to follow him around, to try and find out his movements and his whereabouts. Jiraiya is not the right guy. Orochimaru knows him too much. But I think I have the perfect person. Yamato stepped forward, and Anfu, wearing a lion mask, appeared in the office. With his knowledge of Mokitan ninjutsu, he will be the perfect person to infiltrate and send a report back to us on a weekly basis, said Minato. As Sir Toby nodded, with his Mokitan abilities he could surely do that. As Minato in turn, Yamato, I'm assigning you to a long-term mission towards the rice field country. Our target is Orochimaru, and both I and the third are suspicious of his movements. You are to try and locate his position, and when you do, you are to follow him around and see what he's up to. I'll be set a time limit of 6 months on this mission, so pack your things and good luck. In case of trouble, contact us immediately, said Minato, as Yamato nodded as he headed off. With Naruto, as he was rubbing his forehead, the amount of information about water ninjutsu was a lot. Well, it was good with someone with the element, but given the fact that he didn't have a potent element in water affinity, he figured if Yujiro went through all of this, she would be as strong as the first Hokage in water manipulation. To the amount of information and jutsus, and how you could properly expand and pull, it was just a lot. As Naruto made his way around the village, he was thinking about what to do. Yujiro was sent on a mission, and she wouldn't be returning anytime soon. He was gonna visit his mother soon enough to spend some time with her, but what else? He could go and visit Neji, but that would lead into a spar. He shrugged, might as well visit his mother first though. As he made his way to get her another flower, he already knew where the door was. As he made his way, he entered, after a knock. He was surprised to see his mother asleep. As he watched her, she had a peaceful, warm smile on her face as her hand was on her belly. He wondered, he was a spitting image of his father, would his sister look as beautiful as his mother? As he put the flower in a bouquet and write a note, as he slowly and gently slipped out of the room. As his stomach then rumbled a bit, he smiled. Hours later, as Naruto was heading home, his stomach was packed with a load of ramen. As he was heading home to get some sleep, as he felt drained, his stomach was full, he was tired, but he was happy. As Naruto was being watched, it was none other than the Weasel-masked Anbu, Itachi Uchiha. He had recovered from his shock after killing his father, given the time had passed, as he was reinstated back to his duty. But he still wanted to fight Naruto, as he had just read a report being an envoy, he was able to read the mission report and the amount of mission that was successful because of Naruto and his team, as he could tell that Naruto was growing day by day and was just getting more and more stronger, as he vanished with a smile on his face. Meanwhile, as Naruto paused, he had sensed something, but it was gone now. It felt like he was being watched. His mind instantly run on stone shinobis invading the village, but he didn't sense anything anymore. But it didn't matter who came, he would fight to the death, and not to mention with his summons to aid him. As he made his way home, not feeling a single thing. He made a few turns left and right though, just to be sure. Not to mention his father had told him, if the hidden stone tried to kidnap him again, it will contradict the treaty, the non-aggression pact that they have made, as they will be going after a Chunin of the village, and also the Hokage's son. Not to mention Minato would rain fury down on them when it came to his boy and his wife, and his newly born baby girl that was going to born soon. He didn't want anyone going out of their way to cause them any harm, especially anyone coming after Naruto because he was his son. He would show them literal hell. As Naruto made his way, he ended up falling asleep as he woke up, but he didn't really wake up in the real world. He was in a strange place, as he did not notice because he was asleep that his wolf tattoo was glowing. As Naruto saw stars in the skies, a lot of them, and a big, large moon so close to him, it was like he could almost touch it. Beautiful, isn't it? As Naruto moved a bit before turning, as he saw that it was the boss of the wolf, somehow he contacted him again. As Naruto turned back towards the moon, beautiful, doesn't even describe it, he said. I didn't know that you were able to enter inside my head so easily, said Naruto. The wolf snickered a bit as he was in his white form, a bit smaller. The seal on your arm allowed me to project myself inside your head. Don't worry, I'm not planning on doing this often. Now I'm here to talk to you about something. As you know, we wolves appreciate the moon. We strike at night, when the enemy is always vulnerable, especially when the moon is on full display. Are you following me so far? Naruto nodded. The shadow is our ally. We wolves have techniques that far exceed your human techniques when it comes to our stealth, and I plan on teaching you one, the wolf said. As Naruto turned towards him, it is called Wolf's Secret Jutsu, Shadow Stealth. The technique involved focused on your shadow completely, manipulating it to make it cover your entire body, making you as black as the shadow. Naruto was quite surprised by that, as Uncle had told him that the body mass cannot be fully invisible to the naked eye. So that sounded rather impossible to him, to be completely dark like a shadow. But the wolf assured him. But that made Naruto more and more eager to have a technique that would literally turn you into a shadow, dark as a shadow. That would be amazing. As the wolf then went on to explain that there was more, but he would come to learn them in time. As Naruto could feel it, he was getting stronger and stronger. Soon enough he'll be able to protect all of his precious ones and make sure that you're safe. Because that is what he was getting strong for. To make sure everyone that he cares about is always protected and safe from any threat, it doesn't matter who or what it is. But guys, be in subscribe right here. For the next part, so do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification as they posted. But more for now, see you guys soon. Peace.